In a breaking story within the last hour, the Washington Post revealing that, quote, President Trump has privately revived the idea of firing Attorney General Jeff Sessions in conversations with his aides and personal lawyers this month, according to three people familiar with the discussions. However, quote, his attorneys concluded that they have persuaded him for now not to make such a move while the special counsel investigation is ongoing. As the president has made clear through his recent tweets attacking his attorney general, he believes Sessions should have protected him from the Russia investigation. And now two sources appear to confirm to the Post that the president wants to fire Sessions because of the Russia investigation. Quote, at least twice this month, Trump vented to White House advisors and his lawyers about the endless investigation of his campaign and said he needs to fire Sessions for saddling his presidency with the controversy. Joining me now, Susan Del Percio, Republican strategist, Glenn Kirshner, a former federal prosecutor, and Robert Costa, national political reporter at the Washington Post. Robert, let me start with you just on exactly what we know here. So the president, he is saying that the basis for this desire to have Sessions out would be that he basically blames Sessions for there being a Russia investigation in the first place?
Based on the Post reporting, over the past month, it's been a hot August inside of this White House as the president has spoken to his attorneys. He's considered pardoning Paul Manafort, who's on federal trial, about to start in Washington, D.C., was just on one in Virginia. He's also bandying around the idea of getting rid of his attorney general, someone he's been frustrated with for a long period. For now, his lawyers are the ones keeping him away from the edge, but they can only do that for so long, explaining to him that you may want to get rid of this probe, but it could be considered obstruction of justice if you take action.
Yeah, I mean, if you could elaborate on that. When the reporting says that for now they feel they've talked him away from it, how confident are they that they've tamped it down for the near future?
Everybody's talking to the president. Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, is one of them on the golf course. Rudy Giuliani with the president on the phone. They're all telling the president, based on my reporting, that if you wait until Mueller issues his report, that he finishes report on the president's conduct, even if the president doesn't do an interview, that's the time you can get rid of the attorney general. You can make a change, but not before then.
Glenn, what about that? Robert mentions the possibility there, saying that the president being counseled to move on Sessions now for these reasons. There might be an exposure there on this question of obstruction of justice, and also apparently the president being told wait till after the Mueller report, then the issue goes away. What do you make of that reasoning from Trump's lawyers?
Well, you know, Steve, when I looked at this evening's reporting from the Washington Post, there were two things that struck me. One was the president's take on this, which is that Jeff Sessions is saddling his presidency with controversy, which is, I think, a strange way to look at it. I think it's the president and his associates and his family members' conduct that has saddled his presidency with controversy. And then the second thing that struck me was when even his lawyers are reported to be telling him that, look, if you fire Jeff Sessions, Mr. Mueller may very well view that as obstruction. You know, it's interesting, but usually when we're handling obstruction cases, we can prove up the conduct. But, you know, there's actually a jury instruction that a judge gives in every case that says you have no way of looking into the human mind to determine what somebody's intent and motive is. So you usually have to infer it from their conduct. Here, it's sort of backwards because the president has been announcing his conduct, his intent over and over again, which arguably is to obstruct justice by firing or pardoning various people. And, you know, I think if he actually takes this action and fires Attorney General Sessions, that is an obstruction charge that will right itself.
Well, Senator Lindsey Graham, as we mentioned a minute ago, he said today that the relationship between Trump and Sessions is beyond repair.
We need an attorney general that can work with the president, that can lead the Department of Justice. This relationship is beyond repair, I think.
But Senator Graham, I mean, the only beef the president seems to have against him is that he's not going to get rid of the investigation into President Trump.
Let me finish the second part. It's much deeper than that.
What else? What are we missing?
Well, we won't say on this show, but it's a pretty deep breach.
Later in the day, when asked about his ominous reference to a deep breach between the president and his attorney general, Graham said he wasn't referring to anything in particular.
Can you tell me what you were alluding to this morning, this breach between the president and the attorney general?
Well, it's no one thing. It's just a series of things. I mean, I was telling these other folks that the immigration issue is sort of a debacle. It's just that I see a relationship that seems to be deteriorating by the minute, and we need an attorney general that has the confidence of the president. But you're not going to get a new attorney general unless they're highly qualified, and we'll let Mueller do his job. That's sort of the deal.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.